How long just to try?
Hello and welcome to the opening game of Week 6 of the FOF Mythic League, where our first game today is between Team POG and Ruby Light Up Sketchers. I'm Torres, and accompanying me today is Raptor. How you doing, Rap?
Good. I'm very excited for this game. I love to watch these teams play. I love watching the Mythic League play, and I've been hearing that some spice might be in this for this draft today.
A little bit of spice. I guess we'll just have to see how it plays out as we see some peculiar bans already coming out from the side of POG, Skarner and Thresh in the first rotation.
Yeah, that kind of surprises me. I guess I just don't really think of Ruby as a team that plays a lot of Skarner. Oh, man, they're just blowing through the bans right there.
Blowing through the bans, a Teemo ban, maybe something that RLS has been whipping out secretly in the scrim blocks. But going to say about that Skarner pick, we have seen Pengu play it before, and I think the Skarner pick and the CC champions through the jungle actually facilitate a lot of the playstyle of RLS, which is having that lockdown jungler and having their lanes kind of carry when they do get those wins.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Actually seeing, oh, at the thought moment they locked in Braum. I'm like, oh, that's a very odd first pick. Would have been saying Seraph, but it's gonna be Seraphine instead. I'm actually surprised to see that as a first pick.
Surprised to see it as a first pick. I mean, we did see them hover Rumble, Rumble being a very strong jungler, probably one of the S tier picks, but as we know, Bob Roski today is not going to be piloting in the Rumble, will not be in the jungle, will be playing as a substitute in the ADC role, and Life Orb Slowbar will be in the jungle. Probably just, as well as he is an S tier pick, you really have to know how to utilize that champion, and does have a difficult skill curve.
Yeah, I gave him a little bit of try in jungle recently. I thought it definitely was like, yeah, I kind of know him a little bit. I'd played Rumble top in the past, so that made it pretty easy. But I definitely could see, like, if you aren't used to Rumble, it is very difficult to, especially landing the ult, especially if you're doing like self cast or not self cast, auto cast. But I do like what I'm seeing out of RLS right now. I know Sejuani isn't in the greatest spot, but with Ascena, I actually think that's really good. It's a lot of beef in the front line to keep her alive, and it's a lot of CC to kind of blast onto a target. There's a lot of fishing they're going to be doing, I think, with that. But it is going to be a Rumble. Okay, so Life Orb is going to play that.
Yeah, a little bit pure. Maybe they had second thoughts after picking that Seraphine. Maybe they thought they could play it. You see a lot of shields coming through. We're probably going to have some sort of hyper carry ADC. Probably not something you'd expect as a substitute ADC is coming in, but I mean, it is Bob Rowski. He does have that playmaking potential, and he's probably just as good in any other role. I mean, the Sejuani pick I want to talk about a little bit. She's in, like, I want to say she's in the BC tier ever since those Warmogs nerfs come in. We do have seen the buffs, but currently on this patch, the buffs have not come out, so Sejuani will not be that strong. Still currently sitting in a BC tier, but depending on someone's champion pool and how they utilize this pick, this champion can still be very versatile and still work very well within the team comp.
Yeah, and I think also in the case like of a Rumble, it kind of helps dissuade the power of the Rumble a bit, because Rumble's all about quickly trying to land that ult, and you can kind of counter it by throwing that, you can throw Sejuani's ult out, buy some space for your team, buy some room for you to get out of the fire real quick without being just taken out while you're doing so. So I like that. Also like it because there's not a lot of mobility on the side of Poseidon right now. So, if Sejuani hits an ult, there's no one going to be able to dash out of it. They have to burn a flash or just eat it to the face. So I think that could be very useful, especially with a set like if Sejuani lands an ult, set just flashes, ease them, quickly tries to run behind them with a Q, and then just ults them back into his team, and that's already probably the target almost dead. I don't know. I like it. I like it so far. I think this is a very exciting draft. I'm guessing that's set top, which I think that's good. I think Anti can do pretty well on that. Think that I'm guessing that's Karma support. It could be Karma top, but I'd based on where I've seen Karma recently, I think that is support Karma.
Yeah, I mean, we have seen Gunsy play the mid lane Seraphine before. Obviously, these can be flex pick, mid, or bot, depending on how the matchup goes. I think RLS has taken notice of that and has banned out the Kaisa, one of the hyper carries that are able to pair well with any of those champions, allowing them to dive, kind of just disengage, self-peel, so to speak. I will be surprised if POG picks anything less than something like a Vayne. I would be very interested in seeing that. Seeing they have some mid-game, they have the shields and the movement speed to kind of make up that. You were talking about how POG kind of lack mobility in the sense that they don't have dashes. But later in the game to mid-game, the Mantra E and the Seraphine Ws will essentially make up for that. Of course, they will be able to get hit by the Sejuani ults that come out real fast without that flash. But I mean, the mobility and the chase potential is going to be very there for POG.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's good chase potential, just more of like dodging skill shots and getting like picked is what I'm more worried about for them. But
Oh yeah, definitely.
Nocturne coming out, I'm guessing that's Nocturne top. Or if it's Viego, so if they're swapping between the two, it's definitely going to be. I don't know.
Ooh,
Actually,
a little bit of spice coming out.
could it be? I guess that might be a Rumble top. That would be really good. I think into. Nope, it's going to be
Ooh.
Riven. Okay, so Riven isn't something, and we see the Gangplank, so it's actually not into set. So Riven Gangplank, Riven actually I think takes this matchup really hard. It sucks to be a Gangplank because Riven is just going to constantly be dashing at you. She's never going to let you hit the barrels. She's never going to give you any time to farm. So like, I think it's going to be on Anti to just kind of hold the line there. And there's a Nocturne coming out, so I guess that's Seraphine Karma bot. It seems kind of surprising to me that there's no AD carry on the side of POG.
I mean, I think what they're trying to do is just help facilitate the Nocturne and the Riven, kind of get them ahead, especially with the Rumble too. This mid game will be brutal for RLS if they don't hang on the early game. If they don't make it escape, you were talking about how the Gangplank loses really hard into that matchup. I expect the top lane to be the focus, as it is a Seraphine Karma bot. Riven with the Nocturne and the Rumble, the die potential is there on the top side of the map on that squishy Gangplank, and most of the plays will be happening on that side of the map. But with the draft finished up with the Anivia on the side of RLS, there's a lot of choke control, especially with that Gangplank and everything else, but I'm leaning more towards POG's draft. If they had something other than the Sejuani, I would say RLS's draft is better, but I think POG will get the upper hand in the early game. What about you, Rap?
I actually think I like RLS's draft better. I think basically how this is played out is POG has put themselves on the clock. They basically have till 30 minutes to win this game. If they don't win by that point, they're just going to straight up lose. Senna will outscale them, Gangplank will outscale them, Anivia will outscale them. Their front line will get so beefy, and there's no AD carry on the side of POG, so they can't really rip through those tanks. And I just think if the pressure is on for them to get the lead to win this, but I think POG may have been a little bit too disrespectful for against Ruby here, and I think Ruby might actually take the upset.
Of course, the upset potential is there, but of course, we'll have to see how that plays out on the Rift as we transition into this game. You see Pengu Soldier flashing his emote, the classic penguin, coming out. The Hextech Sejuani skin, always an advocate for that skin as a former Sejuani main. Everybody knows how disgusting she was in Season 8 or 9. I am a dirty abuser. Don't put your hands at me.
And we got the little, the fun festive Gangplank skin. I remember when that came out because I was like, oh, I used to main a lot of Gangplank, and I was just very surprised that we'd gotten a new skin. It'd been so long, yeah. But it's really good to see, and it's nice shiny skins actually all over this map. A lot of fun, a lot of silliness, except Life Orb, no skin. Well, I guess Monkey doesn't either, so no skins on these two. Very, very shame. Very, very shame.
Very shame. We were talking about the Rumble jungle, but it looks like actually the Nocturne is going to be going in the jungle instead. It'll be Gunsey's signature Rumble mid.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick. I think that actually does decently into Anivia. It can clear the wave really fast, which is something that Anivia does well too. So that's going to be really good for them. Keep the Anivia from shoving the wave and just roaming up somewhere. I think she'd be a very strong roam presence against these teams. But that just means that Life Orb, the onus is on him even more to start looking for ganks early on because he doesn't have all that farm to get out of the mid lane to get those items really fast. So he's got to find ganks, otherwise he's going to be stuck on farming duty, which isn't bad. But I just don't think for a Nocturne that it's going to be enough. And I think that in an even gold situation, like evenly gaining gold, I think Sejuani will outscale scales better than Nocturne, if that makes sense. Like, I think that if they're both getting gold at the same rate, her tank items will just be more useful and effective than Nocturne's will be.
Yeah, there's with no AD carry on the side of POG, there's not going to be enough damage to shred through that Sejuani in the later stage of the game if the POG members aren't fed, like that Rumble or the Riven. We do expect this Riven to somewhat go for early kills, get ahead. As Credit has opted for the Ignite over the Teleport, you can totally tell their focus is going to be on that top side.
Yeah, and I kind of feel bad for RLS's bot lane. So Set struggles a lot into casters, in my opinion. Like, yes, he's really at least Karma as a caster. If
Yeah.
you're with the Raka or Sona or somebody that really can't run away, it's fine, but Karma's just going to poke him relentlessly, and then if he tries to get anywhere near, she's going to W him and shield and run away, because even if she gets close, it's just going to root him, and she's going to walk out. So this is going to be a little bit of a rough situation for RLS's bot lane. Granted, again, this is going to, I think, after like the first item, second, maybe like not even the full first item, I think it starts getting...
Gutsy's made his way into the side of RLS's jungle. Flashes, really aggressive, and honestly just gets the first blood. Richard getting a little too comfortable in his jungle. Lifeord's Fulgro, of course, going in over there too, but I mean, let's see what happens.
Yeah, that was a little surprising. I didn't expect it to be the mid laner of all people to go get a kill, but it looks like Gunsy shoved the lane and then just kind of roamed up. It looked like he was going to probably help Lifeorb try to grab this red buff or at least get a word on it, but he goes in, he spots out the Sejuani right here, just walking into the bush. Well, she gets to get the red buff. Like, you know, Rumble's bases on his Q are quite punishing early on, especially with that little ring. So it's just unfortunate for it's just unfortunate for the Sejuani. Could have been, I think it was a smart play, safe overall. You wouldn't really expect the mid laner to do that, but like smart on Gunsy to go in there and grab that. Now he's got the red buff for himself. Now he's got blue buff, and now he's going to be just a really big pain for this Anivia.
Yeah, double buffs, really big pain for this Anivia. I already had the initial shove, but you can tell Gunsy knew that timer. He's no foreigner to knowing what these jungle timers are. He pushed in his wave, made sure he was in a good spot, and even if he didn't get that kill, his wave still would have been in a good spot. Something you like to see from this Mythic League. You also could see him getting the... looks like something's happening down on the bot side. Pengu Soldier going down low, forced to use the heal, but Fat Ectomorph and Bobrovsky have the upper hand at this moment. Pengu Soldier goes down, Bobrovsky getting chased down by Gay for Girls, misses the W flash, but it looks like Richard is onto Lifeord's Fulgro, gets stunned up, but I mean, his bot lane's there, bot lane is still fighting, Gay for Girls, really in a desperate situation, goes down, and it's a 2-for-0 on the side of POG.
Yeah, that was really close. RLS had a couple of close kills there, and you know, Gay for Girl, she goes in, gets the flash W, almost hit the Seraphine, but Bobrovsky times it perfectly to avoid that damage, avoid the kill. It looked like Pengu may have gotten caught out by Bob and just kind of was getting just slammed. Came in that fight really low. I think in an even health fight it's better, but I mean that's what we were saying. This is a very poke heavy bot lane for POG. They're just going to sit there and poke you down, and then once you're low enough, they can just jump and pummel you. It's going to get pretty bad. So just unfortunate for them. Also really unfortunate they almost got Life Orb in the mid lane, but you know, it's once you've dashed as Sejuani, it's really kind of hard to follow up on Nocturne if he manages to get away. It looks like he did burn his flash in that fight, so if they can catch him again, they might have an opportunity. But Gunsy getting kind of blocked out from getting back to this wave. He's kind of stuck there. Monkey doesn't really have the mana to push it in, but you know, it's a good game state for POG, like we were saying in the draft. Like POG needs to push needs to push the issue. They need to try to force plays. They need to try to get the lead, and it's working really well so far for them.
Yeah, working very well really early on in the game. Of course, I don't think RLS expected that kind of damage coming out from the POG side. They did land all their damage abilities. They had the Banter Q. They had the double sing on the Q for the Bobrovskys on the Seraphine. And I mean, Pengu Soldier just was not expecting that damage. Goes down. Was chipped down earlier in the lane, which is probably why they just died 2v2. Ordinarily, that would not happen. But I mean, a mismanagement of the health bars leads to a double kill on the side of POG. And just the advantage is just, look, this poke lane. It's going to be even more brutal for the side of RLS.
Yeah, and I'm actually interested in seeing what Pengu's stacks are right now. So the big thing to watch for this bot lane is the Senna stacks. Senna has a weak early game. It just kind of like, once she gets 20 stacks, it just starts scaling up more and more. And actually, hang on a moment.
Richard's going on. Barely gets out by the skin of his teeth. That blast cone, the savior.
Yeah, Gunsy looked like he wanted to make a play there, but you know, I guess he kind of forgot that there was a ward in that bush earlier when he walked over to drop his, or he just missed it when it happened the first time. So he gets spotted out, has to burn, or he has to burn his ult to just trying to buy some damage and some time for himself to get out. But now, you know, that's part of the wave clear with Rumble. Like, you know, a lot of Rumbles nowadays, especially if they're in the mid lane, use their ult to wave clear. Because it has such a low cooldown. Like look at our rate. It's already a third of the way through. It's only been like 15, 20 seconds. So, you know, ooh, actually, hanging him on to fight breaking out.
That Ectomorph, and I'm going in, but Critedict on the top side of the map does get that early kill onto the gangplank, expecting what we wanted to see. Gate for Girls going down low, a flash from Fat Ectomorph, and a double kill on the side of POG.
Yeah, it's getting a little brutal for POG. Pengu, just stepped too far forward, didn't respect the Karma Q damage. A lot of people just kind of forget that Karma doesn't scale well because her bases are so high that it'd just be ridiculous to let her scale that much. But a Karma ult Q can actually get a lot. We're actually going to take a look at this fight with Anti and Crit. This is what I was talking about earlier with the Gangplank. You don't really get the chance to move forward because as soon as Riven sees you step away from your turret, she's going to just dash ult you and W, and now she's just going to just give you the Qs and get damage after damage. You can't really get out even with your own little remove Scurvy, and she's just going to get you low and then just throw the ult as a ranged attack and you're dead. So this is just a very difficult lane. I think Anti is actually farming very well on it, though. Normally, a Gangplank, you could, like, in a really rough matchup, like a Riven can force the Gangplank to literally get no farm. And it can be a little brutal, you know, for them. But, then, you know, he's keeping up decently in farm compared to where he could be. But, yeah, POG is really forcing this game right now. They're really forcing it forward. And now it might be another on top.
The top side map, Crit Addict goes in with the broken wings, Life Force Soulbro with the tether, and I mean, it's just an easy pickup, despite the Gangplank ultimate for the slow. He's just going to be targeted over and over again. This is what we wanted to see from the early game. We thought Life Force Soulbro took a little bit of peculiar pathing in the early game, focusing more on the bot side of the map. That's where more of the action was happening, covering in the lanes. But I mean, now that the bot side of the map is already winning by themselves, he's focused his way onto the top side of the map. And I mean, Ante is just going down. But on the other side of the map, we can see RLS picking up that dragon for that top side aggression from the side of POG.
Yeah, smart of RLS at least try to get something out of this. You know, like they see the jungler go top, so it's the call. Okay, let's just go grab the Ocean Dragon real quick. It's not going to be a soul. Ocean Souls can't. It's going to be Cloud or Infernal based on that mountain coming up. But you know that could help them sustain a little bit more lane, especially this bot lane since they've been getting poked so hard. But yeah, like now that Riven's got the lead, she's just going to keep diving. Like this Gangplank is basically screwed at this point. He needs to try to shove away the most.
Lands the song onto Gay for Girls. Gay for Girls going down low. Vactamorph trying to fight back, trying to tether him up. Doesn't have the movement speed. Bobrovsky moves forward. Pengu Soldier flashes out. Gay for Girls getting with a face breaker. Going down. Bobrovsky's in a difficult situation. Richard's just coming around for support. Misses the ultimate. But looks like Life Force Soulbro has gone in. Picks up Pengu Soldier. Kind of misses the wrong target, but Gay for Girls is going down low. Hits the Haymaker, but it hits no one. A double kill for Life Force Soulbro.
Yeah, and I thought POG had been a little bit greedy there, but you know, at RLS, once you get that first kill on Bobrovsky, you should just let the Karma go. She's going to run away anyways. You're not going to really get her. Ooh, hang on, Gunsy.
For the wall to return to Monkey. I mean, he's just getting burned down. This Gunsy with the Gnasher's Tooth on this Rumble, basically, with that overheat, just burns this egg. We got fried eggs for breakfast, boys.
Yeah, I thought RLS might have an opportunity to get back in the game right there, but POG just smart play Life Orb, knowing to be in the area, seeing the Sejuani coming down. So they grab Bobrovsky, but they stay around way too long. Pengu is super low. Gay for Girl, she's pretty low too. No top lane.
Up to the side, top side. Critic with the broken wings and the Valor going in. Getting him low enough to get with the Blade of Exile. Misses just the threshold a little bit, but Bobrovsky ends up picking up the kill on the side.
Yeah, they're just going all around the map right now, finding kills all over the place. It's looking very rough for RLS right now. They are down 10 kills. They are down about 6,000 gold 10 minutes into the game. It's, you know, this is like we were saying, this is what POG needs to do. They need to snowball the game, and they're getting the kills where they need them. They need them on the Rumble. They need them on the Nocturne. They need them on the Riven. They're just getting pressure there. Even I think, you know, on the Karma's good too, because you can still get your support. She's not going to farm, and like, you know, her and Seraphine both kind of do the same. They're kind of assisting characters here. So if they both can get their Moonstones up as quick as possible, which I would assume, actually in this case, she's going to go for some anti-heal to stop this Senna and also the Ocean Drake. Is, you know, it could be a good situation. Ooh, another fight top.
Benedict has found himself in a pure situation, flashing away preemptively from Richard's ultimate, but I mean, in the end, goes down to the Gangplank. A little greedy, trying to farm up that wave. But I mean, not set back too far behind. His Gangplank is still 1-3 and very vulnerable to these ganks.
Yeah, and you know, like I like to say in a game, like sometimes you want to give your opponent a kill, like if before you start getting like a big bounty, just so you can reset their gold value, especially when like you've been just smacking them around the entire game. So
of course, it was tactical death, but Gunsy making his presence known all around the map. Gone to the Ionsay, the Flame Spitter finishes down after landing the harpoon. I mean, just an easy pickup. It's been all over this map. Yeah,
and he rushed Medjai's first new Pengu.
Hitting it was tough. The encore lands by Bobrovsky. The high note as well, and See the facebreaker going down. The haymaker barely leaving him under threshold. The pitmaster going down.
Oh,
Looks
so
like
close.
Fat is finally shut down. Bob Roxy kind of just scrapping together for Gate for Girls, but knows he has no abilities. But Return to Monkey has come down. Gate for Girls barely getting out. The quick sidestep out from Bob Roxy. The wall. Shard of Ice gets out with the flash.
Yeah, that was
A pretty close fight overall.
Yeah, that's good of Gay for going forward. I actually liked that she committed for that. You've lost your AD carry, you might as well try to at least take something out of it and get.
Hold on. It looks like Life Force Flowbro has found himself in the bush. Gunsy and Critix have made their way down. This gameplay is just not his day, man.
Yeah, it's just not the day for. Like I said, Riven does very, very, very well in the Gangplank. This is basically Gangplank's nightmare matchup. I'd say one of them.
A little too far up. Everything getting hit by all these abilities by Fat Up more from Bobrovsky, not respecting it. The tether goes down. Looks like an easy pickup for Bobrovsky with that high note.
Yeah, I think Pengu probably could have just walked out of that one, but this is just fight. It's all around the map. Like POG doesn't even need to farm; they're just farming champions at this point. They know that they can't really be contested even under towers. Like if they tower dive, like the one kill onto Riven was more of a Riven didn't realize that she was 1v2 right there. But this is just getting really, really rough for RLS right now. They aren't getting to they're all down an item on their opponents. Like they haven't been able to. No one's on their team has been able to complete a full item yet. Meanwhile, on the side of POG, almost everybody has their items done yet. I think when Riven backs up, she'll probably grab something. But hang on, Life Orb.
Life Orb has gone on, got the tether down, got the fear on a Richard. But look at this tank from Sejuani. Despite all this damage going down, all the auto attacks going down from Life Orb, a nice spell shield. But I mean, Gate for Girls has found himself in the mix, kind of going down. Not going down on the Life Orb Slowbro, misses the Haymaker, misses the Facebreaker, and finds himself in an unfortunate situation until he gets ulted by Gay for Girls. The showstopper showing up, but only for one show, a one-stop show as he goes down to Bobrovsky in the end.
Despite the rough time RLS is having, I give props to Gay for Girls. She is playing absolutely fantastic on this set. She is making POG pay for these kills, and that was actually great. I didn't think she was going to get out of it, but good kill there, but still even better for POG. They started picking up a lot of kills on that fight. They forced out the Sejuani. Pengu wasn't able to get any forward either. And you saw it off on the side. Gunsy managed to grab Anti yet again on another kill. And the set, she manages to get one, grab a single kill for the team, but falling at the same time. Like it's just
looks like Critix has made his way into the jungle though, getting collapsed on by two members of RLS. A little overzealous, but on the other side of the map, the beat drop and the high note just demolished Pengu underneath his tower.
In music, we call that the bass drop. That's what's going on here. But crit
has found himself in a 1v3 situation. Gunsy has said, heck no, and walked himself out of there, not willing to give over that shutdown gold and some of his Magi stacks. And I mean, Critix pays for it with his life.
Rather crit giving RLS an opportunity to get back in this game, but Gunsy is waiting in the wings.
Here comes the Flame Spirit. I mean, stacking up, got over he quietly in the bush, and Ante is just, my friend, we're gonna have to give you a new pirate map. The treasure is not in that bush.
Yeah, it is a treasure, but it's the treasure of the Lost Ark from Raiders of the Lost Ark and from Indiana Jones. You open it up and it just burns your face off. That's what's really kind of happening right here with Gunsy. He is just walking and just murdering anything as he pleases in this game. And RLS still down, still struggling to get back in this game, but this dragon, it's up. Looks like this might be the next fight. And Gunsy is just a monster right now. Gunsy is being despite say what you will about Bob and Life Orb just kind of getting plays around the map. Gunsy is just making him on his own. Sees something going on. Oh, I'm just gonna walk up there. I'm gonna just torch it. Okay, it's gone. Time to go somewhere else. Time to torch something else. It's kind of like playing the Pyro from TF2.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like RLS is gonna concede this dragon up. They're trying to maybe make the play up on the top side and Critix. Ante went to the barrel, but barely doesn't need damage. Return to Monkey. I mean, it's just so difficult to hit these skill shots. And I mean, on the side of POG, while this is all going down, the dragon is picked up, which is probably what RLS had intended. Critix has decided to turn around, go with a nice flash on Blade of Exile, but the egg does get popped from the Anivia. But it doesn't really matter. 2 lives, 3 lives, it does not matter. Critix is having a heyday up on the top side of the map, picks up a double kill. And on the bot side, it looks like a double kill is picked up from the other side of the map as well. From Life Orb Swolbro, Gunsy, we'll see how this plays out. Gunsy went to the ult. That burn. Penguin Soldier tries to get an ultimate off just to trade some damage off, but I mean, in that stead, he has to stay still and just the skill shots and the damage follows through. The double kill, and Gay for Girls goes down as well.
Yeah, it's this game. I think it's getting close to over already for RLS. F in the chat for the bets. You know, I know this is a high bet game for a lot of people, but you know, I think RLS, you know, they're still trying to put up a fight. It's just hard. It's hard when you're just kind of getting like picked on around the map when you can't walk out past your turrets, or else a Riven's gonna dive you, a Nocturne's gonna jump you, a Rumble's gonna burn your face off. It's a rough situation for these guys in this matchup, and you know, POG is playing this comp as they need to. They need to just push the lead, and Pango,
Mantra Q finishes him off, and Pango's just not having his way in this game, not having fun. As 3 members of POG have actually opted into the Magi's, sitting at 16 stacks and up.
Yeah, it's hard like that. These Magi's are just going to, like, if RLS gets a kill on them, that might help a little bit. You know, it's gonna reset. It's gonna knock a lot of those stacks off the Magi's. But until they get one of those, these are just basically walking death balls on all the AP carries on the side of POG, and it might be some roast pig today.
Yeah. I mean, you could see RLS grouping together in hopes of getting some vision control around. It's super hard, especially. It's always hard to get vision control when you're down, but especially so when you're 13k gold down. This stage in the game, they might be able to 5-on-1 someone, maybe caught out of position, maybe Critidict, who seems to be brimming with confidence in these side lanes, but it'll cost you something on the other side of the map. Nothing is free in this game.
Yeah, they're trying to find something to get here. But look at they try to go for something in their jungle. Crit's here now. He's looking for kills.
Critidict, I mean, he's just having fun, man. He's just going out. Already, he popped his ult. Really wanted to take down that Sejuani. I mean, stuck in this choke. Already used the Q, and the Blade of Exile catches him on the other side. Bobrovsky with a great beat drop on the other side with the enchanted high note. I mean, just goes down. Critidict is chasing into the top side jungle. He's just chasing down Pengu. He does not care in between these 2 towers. Gate for Ghosts just have to sit there and watch.
Watching as her comrades go down. Crit just knowing that he can just dive as he pleases. He's already got 2 items under his belt. His cooldowns are super low. His shield's going to be up like basically the entire time, so there's really no threat of death here. Because now they're pushing down onto this. This inhibitor turret's going to go down. The inhibitor will go down too. I expect that they're probably just going to back off it. They're not really positioning to go forward. They're probably just going to try to grab some items. Maybe go for that Baron that's coming up in 50 seconds. They don't have to, but you could just to like close out the game as quickly as possible. RLS, you know, the only bright side of this is that there is some farm they can get out of this inhibitor being down. They do have really good wave clear, especially with the Anivia and the Gangplank, so they can stop those waves going, but it's the game is like they really need this game to drag out another 12 minutes, and with something like this happening, I don't think it's going to get to.
Yeah, I mean, you can see how much of a dire situation RLS is in right now. I mean, 2 members at most can probably just threaten the whole team of RLS. This gold lead is very significant, and they're kind of just splitting the map. Most of the POG is over here, except aside from Swolbro on the other side of the map, but I mean, Richard has gone in to initiate that fight and almost goes down to Gunsy. Just almost burns down to the bone. We were talking about that earlier, Rob, and it is some roast pig tonight.
Dude, it's more like suckling pig at this point. It's looking nice and juicy with all that roasting, but...
Couldn't go down. Gate for Girls with the face breaker goes down. Haymaker barely misses. Gate for Girls putting up the last stand. I mean, throwing her life away for the team. A worthy cause, but I mean... isn't going to amount for much other than your 3 teammates running back to the base to heal to suffer the same fate.
Yeah, you know, you get a free skin for blood donation, but that's out of game, not in game, unfortunately. But he was good, trying to just buy her team some time, buy them some space. But I mean, like, there's just it was a one-way trip. Like, you were gonna go in, you're just gonna die. There's really nothing you can do. Gunsy's there, Bobrovsky and Fat Actor to make sure you can't walk away. And I think this is gonna be the point that POG closes it out at. Or actually no, they're just gonna back off. Okay, so maybe they do go for this Baron.
I mean, looks like most of those members want to... I see 2 of those Magi stacks only at 24. It looks like they want to max it out before this game ends, maybe. Get a Drake, get a Baron, kind of get those final push. Pad that KDA See what it is, but it looks like a not a death bush, but a death base, so to speak, on the other side. RLS turns that corner. It's not going to end up pretty. Life Orb's Fullbro with the Paranoia going in. Gunsy with a perfect open, letting go to 3 members. The Encore barely touches Gate for Girls, going down. The Haymaker does nothing. But on the top side of the map, Life Orb's Fullbro goes down. But I mean, walking to the meat grinder of Gunsy, picking up a double kill. A triple onto the side of POG in total. And I mean, even without Critic, that fight is overwhelmingly in the favor of POG.
Yeah, and it's just gonna keep going
down. I mean, it's just too much damage. Not much for RLS to do. A 17k gold lead at the 21-minute mark. 3 POG members having their fun, poking them down in the base, what their composition is meant to do. Not to this extent, though. It's just brutal. Looks like POG is going to back up after taking that inhibitor tower. And, I mean, saving the last bite for later, Rap.
Yeah. I think they could have just ended the game. I think they're just kind of playing with their food at this point. It's very, very unlikely, but it could bite them in the butt. RLS gets an ace in the next fight. You never know. You never know in a game of League of Legends, but it's looking pretty grim right now for the Ruby Sketchers. It's hard. Like what do you do in this situation? Like you can't find a target to really get much initiation on. They just dive onto your team constantly. The Seraphine and Karma are just so big. Their shields are nigh impenetrable at this point. They've got a lot of CC to set up the play, especially with the and now Crit going on anti again.
They're going in 1v5. We will see if this comes to fruition. But I mean, Gunsy with a great ultimate going down, forcing them all out. Gate for Girls caught on the other side. Desperate attempt goes in. Critic going in with the broken wings, but I mean, I guess we know the answer to that question. A 3-man encore from Bob Brovsky. Gunsy walking in, walking forward, walking through these chokes, through the Anivia and the Gangplank ult. Not doing much difference. Life Orb's Fullbro looking with that Paranoia, going into his food, the Gangplank, trying to steal his oranges. Looks like Richard wants to go in, but I mean, the movement speed, Life Orb's Fullbro does drop down to about 5% HP, but I mean, is not finished off. And from the side of RLS, there's not enough damage to defend their base. The super minions are going in. They can't clear these waves. And it looks like it's going to be the end for POG. Yeah. They're going to play around with their food a little bit in their base.
Yeah, I think that this should be the end of the game. But Gay for Girls looking to make something happen here. No, unfortunately, not much.
That Rumble has been on such a low cooldown. Gunsy just tearing them apart. It's just terrorizing the side of RLS.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do. That ult has been that ult is the MVP. Not just Gunsy. The ult itself is the MVP of this game.
Yeah, we see some last ditch efforts from RLS. The super minions are ending this game, and I mean, probably the winners with just a drastic goal lead. That's 24-minute mark. This game was a stomp.
Yeah, this is POG saying that we can just mess around and we can still get a good play going here. But I also think it's just a reminder for teams that hey, don't give Gunsy a rumble. He will murder you.
Yeah, I mean, what are those star players we see? We have multiple star players, obviously, in the league, but Gunsy, one of the best, especially in that mid lane role. Our mid lane role is pretty stacked in the Mythic League, but I mean, Gunsy looks like he's a cut above the rest from everybody else.
Yeah, he's putting up an MVP level performance in a lot of these games, and it's a good job from him. Ooh, unfortunately, RLS just they put there's a little bit too much scaling, not as much early games the team really needed to keep the ball rolling here, but they still put up a fight. I mean, they got that kill on Crew at the end. They're still looking for something. I think they can hold their heads high, knowing that they didn't just completely roll over and die. They tried to get something going here. It just unfortunately POG just was prepared and just ran away with this game once they got that lead.
Yeah, I mean, we did see some life out of RLS in the early game. I mean, POG, up until the 7-minute mark, I don't think that game was doomed. Of course, there was that unfortunate play up in the down in the bot side of the map where the double kill went over early. But I mean, prior to that, when Gangplank was even in CS until that top lane play, I think that RLS had a very good fighting chance as they were trading around in the aggression. If they did get to late and the damage did come through, I do think RLS has a chance, as we were talking about how their comp was actually drafted very well. And that if POGs didn't get ahead, they were on a timer. But I mean, it just didn't happen. POG did snowball their lead, and in the end, we saw what happened.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate for RLS, but good on POG. Like they're showing a lot of strength ahead of the playoffs. You know, they want to put themselves in that dominating position. They want to be a scary team. They're still jockeying for one of those top spots. I don't think they're going to get the. I mean, they still have a. Yeah, I guess they don't really have a chance for first place. Like Tub would have to literally throw every single game at the end for the rest of the season. Actually, no, they only have. No, yeah, okay, so. I think that they're not in contention for first place, but they're still in contention for second. And second is the big key here because if you get second, you don't have to play Tub in the first round. You don't have to play them until the semis. So that's that's probably a better thing. Like you want to avoid Tub as long as possible. They are a very scary team. They are the top team in this league right now, of course. So it's a good win. It's a much needed win for POG, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean they do move up in that winning. Still a game down from the second and third place team, but I mean we'll see how they play out in the next couple of weeks. We'll see how these standings change, as the middle of the pack is very even. But with that win from POG, we're going to switch it over to an interview with Crit Addict. So don't touch that browser.
Hello, folks. Chris Edgeworth here for the first interview of the day. I am joined by Fat Ectomorph from the victorious Poseidon Gaming. How are you feeling?
Feeling pretty good. It was a good decisive win.
Yeah, it was a triple Magi's diff. Those are hell of games. Let me start there. Actually, were you guys basically could have ended the game, but you had 24 stacks on your Magi's. Both you and Bob, did you decide you needed to get that 25th stack?
Yeah, we were focusing on that, but also Gunzi really wanted to farm kills to make sure he's he wanted to be on top of the kill leader, but I still don't think he's first. But I think I'm first right now for assists. So what can I say?
Yeah, this was a hell of a game. You guys had the Enchanters bottom, and then the big Riven and Gunzi Gap in the mid lane. Talk to me about the draft that you guys decided to pull out here.
I actually think Karma Seraphine is like it's a super strong bot lane. Like it's like when you're supposed to go Shurelya's and Karma, but we were winning too hard, so I decided to go Ludens. But when you go like Shurelya's on Karma and the Seraphine double W, like those two picks combined, just it just lets other like all your other carries shine. And it's like when you have Gunzi in the mid lane, you can like literally 1v5 any game, and like when he has double enchanters like that, it's like really hard to stop him.
Yeah, he was incredible in this game. I mean, Flame Spitter is disgusting, honestly, but also he was landing critical equalizers. Sorry, I was spacing on the name for a second, but let's talk about just what it's been like transitioning to playing with Bobrovsky now that he is in your lane. I think this is the second game that you've had him down there with you.
Yes.
So, talk to me just a little about what it was like playing with him in this game, especially with this fun matchup.
I don't know. I mean, we're pretty close friends. He is my roommate, so you know we've got the roommate synergy, and also we did spam a lot of flex SKU games together, so we're like really comfortable laning with each other. And it's just I don't know why he really wants to play Seraphine, which is like it's like OP champ, but like it's really easy to play with that. Like it allows you to have so much pressure. Like with like Moonstone, it's just and the Moonstone and the Seraphine ult, it's just extremely powerful. And like yeah, like laning with Camilla or Bobrovsky is pretty fun. What can I say?
Yes, the Seraphine ultimate has a very interesting hitbox. And there was at least one point that on broadcast got called out where it was like, it really, I don't know about that one, Riot, but it like caught Gay for Girls on the edge of her hitbox, and it was just like, man, the champion is just something else, man.
Yeah, it's actually probably one of the best team fighting ultimates in the game.
Yeah. So let's switch gears to looking at tomorrow. You are against the Juggernauts, the Ugly Barnacles. How are you feeling about that matchup?
We don't have our ADC for this week. Obviously, that's why I'm playing with Bobrovsky in the bot lane. But I know I feel like we played a bunch of flex teams together. So we did a few scrims, and I'm feeling pretty confident. Even though I know Tub is a really good team, they've only dropped one game, but I'm actually feeling pretty confident that we could take another game off them.
There you go, folks. I mean, I really like that PR crafted interview where you set expectations low, but you also left the door open for you guys to upset them still anyway.
Yeah, we can't be too cocky, but we're confident.
Fat Ectomorph, thanks for joining me for this interview. Do you have any final words before we step away to our next game?
No, that's it. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Well, folks, don't go anywhere. We will be right back with Game 2, so don't go away.